Hey, this is Luke from Auto Darts. Today we are checking out a brand new AEB, that's Automatic Electronic Blaster. This is the BK2s. Let's get going. Automatic electronic blasters have become more and more popular, and I think we're going to continue to see more of these as time goes on. This is the BK2. Full disclosure, this is a product on our shop. We've already sold a bunch of them, and they are probably up for pre-order by the time this video airs. We sold out of our initial batch pretty quickly and didn't anticipate them being quite so popular. This is one of the most compact, small blasters that we have seen. Compact and small, those are the same thing. This is one of the most compact AEBs that I've seen so far, and it's in a nice little package, albeit a little bit too real steel for my taste. Hence why you'll see a 3D printed orange shroud up front here, which we are shipping with all of the blasters so people can optionally cover theirs up themselves. We would love to do something custom color, really bright poppy colors, and get rid of all the black in the future, but the minimum order requirements for that are quite high, so stay tuned for that in the future. But for now, this is the colorway that we are going to offer. This is the BK2s. It is the updated version of the blaster, not to be confused with the BK1s. Now, from my understanding, these two blasters are virtually identical, except the BK1s has a longer barrel and a longer shroud, therefore higher FPS with the same internal gearbox. Starting off with ergonomics, this is a very compact, lightweight blaster, only weighs about 2 pounds. The grip feels quite comfortable and fits my adult hands well. It's got a collapsible stock in the back with 4 positions. This back point is also where your battery goes in, so it's kind of a dual purpose thing inside here. We've got our battery compartment, and it fits an 1100 milliamp 3S pack. I got the opportunity to play with this at an indoor arena game, a church field, and that was a really great experience, and the blaster performed very well. The only downside was at the moment I only had 2 magazines, and they are 12-round magazines, so I was essentially playing with 24 shots per round and then having to reload on the fly. While we're talking about the magazine, there is an elephant in the room, and that is that this magwell is not Talon compatible, meaning it is not compatible with the vast majority of magazines we sell or carry. We do carry the Zius BK2s magazines that are 12 shots here. And an interesting thing here to note is that there's a lot of dead space in the bottom of this mag. So there's a pretty simple modification you can do. You can cut this down quite a bit, as much as all the way, or just maybe 2 darts worth, and then put this back together and you will have additional capacity. Additionally, we have seen users online modify this magwell to make it Talon compatible. It's a pressure fit currently, but it involves cutting a little bit of that lip here and a little bit of lip up front, and at that point you're able to fit a Talon mag up in there. The blaster handles really well. It's very light, it's fast, you've got a nice adjustable stock, you've got semi-auto and full auto, as well as the ability to do 2-round burst through holding the trigger and changing the setting. The rate of fire in full auto is about 6 darts per second, so I haven't really found the 2-shot burst to be all that useful. I'd rather just go into full or stay in semi. You've got a jam door on the left side, so you can actually see whether you've got something going on there without taking out your mag and looking down the magwell. And then you also have control independently of the bolt itself, or your follower there, the ram rather, and that lets you cycle a dart out if you were to jam something up in there, or you just need to clear or take a look. So that's pretty cool. But overall, this is one of the better AEBs for a reasonable price point that we've seen. This is retailing on our shop for $160. It comes with 2 magazines, again 12 rounds, and it comes with 24 of the Zius darts, or Zius, however you pronounce it. They seem to be a take on the bamboo darts, and they're somewhere between the worker heavies and the standard workers at 1.09 grams, about 1.1 gram per dart. I will say though that looking at these darts, the foam quality is not quite as good as the workers. The heads are smushed all the way up to the foam, and I know this will cause problems in springers as far as the tip dragging on the sides, but there's an air gap that are on the worker darts, and it really makes a big difference as far as performance. So I can feel these, like the glue kind of comes off the surface. The front has a lot of the glue restraint, and then there's plenty of glue in there. They're not going to come apart on you in a way that you wouldn't want them to, though let's actually take one apart because they have a very deep stem. So you can see pretty big difference there on the stem length. I'd say a good 6 millimeters. And that's probably where the majority of the weight is coming, because obviously foam doesn't weigh very much. Otherwise, the blaster is about what you would expect. One nice quirk ergonomically on the back is that in addition to this stock coming off, there's actually a nice big thumb screw right here. I think it's like an M5. And then this whole rear cap comes off. I do think that the community is gonna have some fun putting together different options here for different stocks. You could probably make a buffer tube that's compatible. Overall, I have to say I actually really like the stock it comes with, so I don't think I'll change that out myself personally. Up top, of course, we have a Picatinny rail where you can mount optics or a flashlight or whatever else you feel like. Also just kind of looks cool. And we've got a relatively short aluminum barrel. Again, the BK1s has the longer barrel, so that'll hit a little bit harder, but this right out of the box is hitting 160 FPS in our 20-shot average with worker darts, despite it saying up to 150 FPS on the box. So I'm loading up these two mags, and I thought I'd mention one thing that I did notice in gameplay. And initially these mags drove me crazy to load because I do sort of a 2-finger Talon load or Coda load, where I put 2 fingers down, then I move my finger out of the way and do here. And that muscle memory is battling with this. But then I realized it's more like the Tachi load, where you just press gently down from the top with very minimal warping or bending of the foam or compression of the foam, because the feed lips at the top are pretty wide. I kind of wish all mags were like this, but not all mags have the space, and Coda with the same feed lip has just stiffer material, glass fiber, nylon. So I'm in semi. The garage door back there makes a very satisfying pop every time you do it. Let's try out some full auto here. You have to put it into full auto if you want full auto. As with any blaster, I definitely wouldn't recommend dry firing this more than you need to. That said, I think I have dry fired it at least 100 times so far, and so far so good. I'm excited to get it out on the field and play with it even more and get it into more hands of customers. At the end of the day, we are a really small team here at Out of Darts. There's only 6 of us, I guess 7 including myself and one very, very part-time person. And at the end of the day, you know, we just cannot put a single blaster through its paces enough. So one of the ways we launch blasters is to order a sample batch. We ship them out to customers and we stand by them 100%, even if we end up somehow ordering a dud blaster. So know that if you do check out a new blaster on our site and you're unsure about it, as always, our warranty stands behind it, even when the company themselves does not. I'd love to hear any questions you have on the BK1s and the BK2s down in the comments. We may get the BK1s as well, depending on demand, but so far we thought the slightly lower FPS was a great way to go. Until next time, I'm Out of Darts.